Welcome, Aquarius, and those with Aquarius dominant charts. This is the Oracle of the Feather Crown Tree, and we are doing your Sun in Leo season reading for the month ahead. If you would like to leave me a question to have answered through the cards in the comment section, then please see the description box below for some directions on how to do that. And also in that area, you'll see a timestamp. So if you'd like to move forward to the intuitive aspect of this reading, you can, as I do start with descriptions from the author's books. Our first card out is in the center, and it's representing the heart space, with the idea that you can lead your life from this center through the month, that you can be heartfelt in everything you do. So the message on this card is you are protected by a higher power that also wants to help you. If the path seems blocked, there is a good cause. Take this as divine intervention, a sign from above, and wait. When the time is right, all flows with ease. And now we're going to move over to the left in the center, which is representing the first house of Aries. And then we are going to continue counterclockwise around the wheel until we get to the 12th house of Pisces. So your first house then, you have the moon. So this is how you're kind of showing up this month, your identity. The moon shows us the regularity of cycles and teaches us about the importance of change. As it moves through its cycles each month, it governs emotions, instincts, and intuition, as well as memory and imagination. Issues around maternal figures, traditions, and adaptability can also be represented by the moon card. The second house of Taurus and of values. From the Celtic Shaman's book, you have the crow, which I find to be such a fascinating creature that we've imbued with so much symbolism. A sleek and shiny black carrying crow sits on an egg on which swirl intricately woven patterns painted in the three sacred colors, red, black, and white. Red is for blood, black for earth, and white for spirit. The key words of this card are change, which are just like the last one, the moon card. The chief associations of the crow are death, chance, and prediction. Death in this instance does not always mean physical death, but rather refers to change and the death of an old idea, to be replaced with a new one. The crow is thus a companion to choose when seeking a new direction, or when requiring a fresh view of old problems. If it falls at random in a non-determined reading, then you should expect change of a powerful and lasting kind, either in your life or in the rest of the reading. The third house of Gemini, thoughts and communications. From the Tantric Dakini Oracle, we have Shiva, the pillar of fire. Shiva, the pillar of fire, bears the number 32, signifying the astral light coming from the fulfillment of spiritual ideals. This numerological concept is related to the psychic center chakra of the head region, which has traditionally 32 downward emanating rays, and to the final 32nd path of Malkuth in the Kabbalistic system. According to the classification by elements, this is the first of the fire cards, normally related to the suit of wands in the minor arcana of traditional tarot. From behind the crest of a falling wave, conceived of as washing through all dualities, there rises an enormous pillar of fire. The central flame is wrapped in fire from the surface of the sun, the divine fire of Lord Shiva, a pillar with neither top nor bottom. This image represents the unity of Brahma, the creator, as the fire of the sun, and Vishnu, the preserver, as the cosmic waters, and Shiva, the dissolver, as the pillar of fire, the consumer. The whole glyph indicating the power of fulfillment through the inexhaustible self created Shiva Lingam, the phallus of enlightenment. In alchemy, it is the refining fire bringing out the transmutation of all elements. Another heavily themed transformation change card. That's pretty strong in your first 3 houses there. So your 4th house, Cancer, this is family, ancestry, memories, the feminine. From the Prophet deck, we have exalt your reason to the height of passion. Your reason and your passion are the rudder and the sails of your seafaring soul. If either your sails or your rudder be broken, you can but toss and drift, or else be held at a standstill in mid-seas. For reason, ruling alone, is a force confining, and a passion unattended is a flame that burns to its own destruction. Therefore, let your soul exalt your reason to the height of passion, that it may sing, and let it direct your passion with reason, that your passion may live through its own daily resurrection, and like the phoenix rise above its own ashes. And another one of transformation. Okay, so the 5th house is the house of Leo. This is really about your ability to assert your power out in the world with a sense of self-respect and self-authority. So you have the Nile, the sacred archetypal element of water. Water blesses us. It blesses all of life. Everything in nature thirsts for water. Animals, trees, mountains, and human beings. In our human bodies, water is synonymous with blood. The Nile is the bountiful river that is the reflection of the river of the night, the Milky Way. It is our star mother counterpart on Earth. Nowhere on Earth is there such a contrast between fertility and barrenness, between life and death, and between abundance and desolation, as the Nile Valley, especially where the river's influence halts at the desert's edge. In Egypt, all life is dependent on the Nile, and the Nile, in her generous and gracious flow, feeds all life. As the Nile flows through Egypt, water flows through our lives, offering fluidity, compassion, intuition, nurturance, intimacy, and sensitivity. It teaches us about ebb and flow. It shows us its many forms, liquid and solid, vapor and mist. Water teaches us about eternity by showing us how to have faith as we move through the different states of being and consciousness, as well as those of form. We learn how to feel through water. We learn about emotions, sensitivity, and unconsciousness. Water cleanses the lenses of our psychic awareness and nourishes our intuition. When you draw this card, it is time to enter the river. It is time to return to the primal waters of the unknown, trusting that you will be fed and nurtured by the great mystery. Relax, perhaps make some time to immerse yourself in water. Experience floating and feeling yourself upheld by the waters of life. This is an opportunity for deep cleansing and renewal and trust. Water is your ally in this reading, is the medium through which you will respond to what is needed at this time. All of water's unique qualities are available to you now. The 6th house of Virgo, your daily routines and health. From the Enchanted Spell Oracle, you have innocence. Sweet, gentle, worthy. When the innocence card appears, it sends a gentle reminder that feelings of guilt are seldom helpful. As humans, we are but flawed vessels, and we all have made mistakes. Feelings of guilt and shame often settle in the sacral chakra. It can weigh us down, stopping us from living a full life. If you find yourself judging others on their life choices, you may be projecting your own guilt onto them. Going through life thinking you need to be punished, or denying yourself the sweeter things in life, is rejecting the abundance available to us here on this earth. Innocence helps us to remember that we are all divine, spiritual beings having a physical experience here on earth. We are meant to be here. No one is ever sent here by mistake. The 7th house of Libra, our relationships and harmony through them. From the Goddess Power deck, you have Sophia, divine wisdom. Human wisdom comes from personal experience, but divine wisdom is known to our life experience. When we ask for help, we are asking for guidance from a source greater than us, a great unknowable mystery. When we receive it, it is often life-altering and affects us in ways beyond our comprehension. The Gnostic goddess Sophia, who brought the material world into being, arrives to show you how fate and destiny operate in relationship to synchronicity. When you least expect it, opportunities and meetings spring up as if out of nowhere. Your life begins to work out, and you sense your alignment with a higher purpose and power. Trust you are divinely protected and directed. Practice the act of faith before results. This is an essential key in creating your world. The 8th house of Scorpio, mystery, death, subconscious. From the mystical shaman oracle, we have Earth. Earth represents the gift of life. The symbol on this card refers to the body of the planet Earth, the human body, and nature herself. We're reminded by this symbol that all creatures are born of the earth, and human beings are the stewards of all life on the planet. It refers to what we make of it, our health, wealth, security, grounding, solidity, and stability. It reminds us that the world of form is a gift from spirit and needs to be treated with respect. When the earth symbol appears, it represents a need to focus on reverence and appreciation for the natural gifts that are coming to you now and always. The concrete world you inhabit is there by the grace of spirit, and you are part of it. Much can be accomplished now when you focus on compassionate, reverent service to the world. If you act with integrity, gratitude, and humility, you will find yourself more prosperous than you can imagine. Success is assured when the earth appears as an invitation. And the 9th house of Sagittarius, a yogic path, will give us our card here. And you have Tamas, density, dullness, and inertia. You're in a period of hibernation, which is sometimes needed to blossom into a butterfly. Your body is between lines of a poem, notes of a song, steps of a dance. Use this time to fully rejuvenate your system, allowing proper rest and food. Know when it is time to emerge from your cocoon and show the world the gifts you have been cultivating. Stillness is only balanced when followed by action. The 10th house of Capricorn, this is your achievements in the world. You performing your best, perhaps in your career. Programming your highest intentions from the Heart Path Oracle deck, moving quickly through your current situation. When fly appears, hold on tight. Things will be moving fast. The fly is actually an amazing symbol of strength, courage, and believing in yourself and all you are capable of achieving. It sees beauty and value in things others fail to notice. Since flies move so quickly through their space, they symbolize the possibility of rapid changes in your thoughts, emotions, and business. Flies' message is to let go of all self-doubts and habits that keep you in illusion. You need to spend time focusing on yourself. This may appear as selfish, but it is not. It is necessary for you to incubate your vision. Be gutsy and look for innovation in unusual places. Abundance is available to you right now. If you are persistent, you have the determination and strength to get what you need. You, like the fly, can adapt to any situation, no matter how dire it seems. That was definitely a card of change as well. Now your 11th house of Aquarius. Our card is coming from the Sacred Geometry deck, and this is going to be the realm of the rebel, the sacred rebel, and your place as a humanitarian in the world. You have wise friend. Ancient trees are wisdom keepers. They hold within their bark and branch vast libraries of knowledge, history, and earth mysteries. They are fully willing to make these accessible to anyone who makes an effort to tune into their language. When you approach a master teacher or revered elder, it is customary to offer prayers or pay tribute. The old ones love such acknowledgement, and they respond to your recognition of their wisdom by expanding their energy fields and offering shelter. As you sit in this presence, open your inner knowing to a place of receptivity. Relax, breathe in a slow, rhythmic manner, and listen. Messages may come in a whisper or an exclamation. You may receive words, or likely some simple knowing will occur. Trees are renowned poets and givers of riddles, so don't expect exact answers. Cultivate a relationship with a tree near your home, one you can visit often. Let your experience with this wise friend guide you in learning the language of trees. Once you learn this connection, you may find trees talking to you everywhere you go. And the 12th house of Pisces, the transcendent part of your being, the collective consciousness. From the White Light Oracle, you have the sun of 417 hertz. Our sun is a self-luminous being. It does not reflect light or energy from other sources, but rather generates its own light. It is quite literally an enlightened being. The sun is our spiritual mentor, teaching us how to be spiritually self-reliant when we cannot find support or guidance externally and need to go it alone for a time. Such phases can be difficult, but they are temporary, and inner spiritual strength is built during such times. Sometimes we don't realize our own strength under circumstances force us to find out. The 417 hertz frequency facilitates a healing shift into the vibration of the higher self. Your authentic life path is directed by your higher self, and it is unique. There is no use comparing your path to any other path in order to determine its validity and value. Your true life path may lead you away from the familiar, directly into worlds unknown. The moment the soul takes its authentic path, wondrous awakening can take place. There is a feeling of closeness and connection to the sacred. This frequency helps wipe away experiences of alienation and reestablish a deep and loving connection with the universe. It cleanses traumatic experiences and memories and any malignant habits formed as a consequence of past pain to allow the soul to experience true kindness, compassion, and love for herself and others. In this oracle, it signifies that no matter what is happening in your life, you've got this. Okay, beautiful Aquarius, let's look here and see what comes out intuitively for you in this very powerful and articulated spread. You may be connecting with a philosophy that's a little bit more Eastern in nature right now, that deals with perceptions of what is like a feminine presence in perhaps a culture that is more attuned to, I want to even say it like perhaps a Japanese aesthetic. So you may want to look into that, or even Chinese philosophy like Lao Tzu, and just take a look at how they define the feminine in their teachings and its relationship to the masculine. There seems to be some stress here going on that is not acknowledged, that feels a little bit unhealthy and it's like reflecting something in your environment and you're internalizing it. And even though what is blooming in the environment that is a source of this is doing well, this is starting, but for you, it's bringing you a lot of probably anxiety, I want to say, and perhaps even some darker thoughts. But if you seek some wisdom, that might help the mental space. And if you help the mental space, it might help the physical. So I'm also seeing that you are maybe feeling a little bit restricted as a spiritual force right now. And you seem to be okay with that. You still are in your power. You're still very much in touch with how to work with these energies. And it's almost giving you more power. Like the restraint is just helping you confirm where you stand, who you are. And it is very much saying that you know how to connect to a source of higher insight that even if it's more receptive or more like something that happens more at night even or hidden, that you still have that power to connect to it, and that's not going to be broken. I really get a sense of magic around something that you are valuing right now. It may be in the material world, and it may be something that you've been trying to work with and kind of grow and stabilize, but it's still in the process of a lot of change, and it just may need the presence of something magical or an acknowledgement that it's been in a state that it's in, and perhaps a different energy needs to come through now that will enlighten it in a different way. So maybe look for something that you can bring in to something that you've been working on to really take it to another realm and see what you can do with it from there. I see that you are probably communicating with quite a bit of passion. It doesn't really feel angry. It just feels like you might have a lot to say, and you are using your emotional strength with it when you're speaking, as well as the strength of mind. And you're really bringing those together in a way of communicating what has you feeling motivated. And this is something that wants to help you rise up. It wants to help you. It's definitely more of like a male energy, like a creative energy, an outwardly energy that's probably being inserted into your environment. Now, in more of your home space, you may be feeling kind of buried underneath something that has you reaching for a time that you may be misperceiving as good. Like you may be reaching back to something when you thought life was great, especially with another person. This may be someone that you share your home with. Could be a life partner. And there's a sense of languid passivity and sadness and a very slow movement. Yet I see you sort of yearning for this memory of the past, because there's at least a connection there that you're acknowledging, and it's that very connection that you're reaching for, that you are deeply concerned about, and it may have you feeling heavy. So maybe there is a relationship issue going on right now that is in a state of you really reassessing it. It feels like there's an opportunity for a lot of change to happen in this space, but you're just in this energy of kind of starting to deal with it, of acknowledging it, taking some initial action with it. And again, here I'm seeing this, your third house and your fifth house, I just noticed, are almost kind of identical in that there are these bodies of water that are like kind of swirling up and then into the air. One's fire, one's more just water. They're very tight in how they resonate with one another. So this one is really saying that you are a presence that could be quite emotional, as well as intellectual in your way that you're presenting yourself, and you might be finding a lot of stability in that. You're using your emotions, and these emotions themselves, as I spoke of earlier when I was reading from the cards, from the decks, these may be the source of change. How you're feeling about things may be bringing in new energy, and how they start intermixing with your thoughts, which would be kind of unusual for you because you're definitely more of air. But of course, everyone is super mixed when it comes to their charts. Let's see here in your day-to-day routines and your health. You may be finding some calm in having a routine, and some joy, some lighthearted joy, a sense of a little bit of play in that. So that's good to see. And this is just, like fun. I'm just getting a sense of fun, and even maybe a little fairy tale feeling from all of this. And a good amount of, like, if you get your rest, that's going to keep you healthy, getting good sleep, and spending some time in nature, and just being happy with yourself, being kind of in a non-judgmental space with yourself. In your relationship sector, it seems as if you really are getting it, like you know how to be centered, how to act from a higher place, how to be wise, how to use that presence in the decisions and the way that you're going about being in rapport with people. So yeah, that feels very good, very mature energy there. Now in your house of kind of what's hidden, more of the mysteriousness, you may just be doing some reflecting through a means of using your psychic center a little bit more, like a third eye. And this may be helping you feel a little bit more enmeshed with your environment and part of the deeper aspects of feeling connected to the earth and as one, like that, like you're a child of the earth, or at least just a being of the earth, and what that means to be here now in this world. In your sector of higher knowledge and the things that are not always known to you unless you seek them, I'm getting a sense of you really sleeping actually and dreaming, and through this process you're transforming maybe something that feels like it's had a life, that it's lived a good life, and that it just needs to be in a place of stillness right now and maybe dissolve, and that new things will come if you just rest and let things be as they need to be. What will pass that needs to pass away will, and new things can blossom through this process. It's really a beautiful thing to see at once, both the death and the rebirth at once, kind of condensed into time, a depiction of like a moment. Now in your career house and your achievements, I get a sense that something that you held with high regard is sort of getting lost in emotions right now. And even though you might feel the impulse to reach for it, you're not. You're kind of holding back a little bit. Something may be frustrating you or distracting you from really acknowledging how you're letting go of something that you once really revered. And there may be other people or just other distractions in your environment that could fill your space with a lot of busyness, but in a way you have sort of secluded yourself from them. You've drawn boundaries around it, and you've pulled back a little bit from maybe the demands and the constant pestering of other things in your environment. And this could be definitely occurring in a place where you work. Now, in your house of really being your authentic self and how you're part of the larger world in doing that, you feel like you've lived out. It's again, this card is mirroring, this is the funniest reading. This card is mirroring the 9th house quite a bit with the tree, and yet it's a fairly barren tree. And I'm really getting the sense that maybe you've lived a certain phase of your life and you've learned from this, and it's been very good. It's not that it's sad and that it's dying, it's just that there's something new coming in, and you've done well with what you've done before. You've achieved a lot, you've become what you needed to be, and other people may be affected by that and growing. You may have influenced a younger generation, but you realize that you're just becoming maybe outmoded, and you need something different to come through and inspire you. And so you may be searching for things intellectually that are bringing you to new states of realization about who you are and what you're doing. Now, in your place of your highest self, your transcendent self, you seem tired, and you seem that you're acknowledging you might need a little self-care. And in doing this is going to help you feel stable, and it's going to help reignite passion that needs to come through. And it's going to allow, even in this place of being kind of withdrawn, to just let things go on about you and move around you without you really having to care much. And even if they're kind of just going about you and flowing around, you're just really not going to be bothered by them. It's like you're not trying to exert a lot of control over your environment, and you realize that it's just more important for you to take this moment to self-nurture and go within a little bit, definitely for restoration. So we are ending your reading now, and I just want to thank you guys for being here with me for it. Please look to any of my other playlists if you want to find some different themes that I address. And I hope that you'll join me again, sending you many blessings and much love.